K-Side Guitar Music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 in the Evil Bee Network. Well, take your pick of Rumble X YouTube. We have some technical difficulties. We'll be on one or all of them this time as we work through those issues. Man, what a day. The climate change con, Prince Andrew's in cuffs. Finally, somebody, at least, even if it's in the UK, is arrested on the Epstein deal. The Marina Valley Ghetto Mall is subject to being closed today. We'll give you the updated story on that. Maybe we'll touch on this tax increase coming on in River City. We'll delve more into the climate change con and Mark Chaffee's great column and much, much more, as we say on today's show. But was public money used for fake boobs? Amy Knox was supposed to be handing out Arcan through a non-profit. Oh, we're just going to help, these drug addicted people, and they can't control themselves, and it's just absolute 1000% ridiculous mayhem. The con artist crap they throw on us, like this, 130 grand in personal trips, boob jobs, tummy tuck, and that's all your money. Taxpayer, the one that they're pointing the gun at you and taking that money out of your pocket, out of your family's welfare. Amy Knox was living large. Well, now she's another one arrested, and it can be none too soon. Tony Shin's moved down to San Diego. He's on Fox 5 and KUSI. We'll see what Tony has to report on this earth-shattering development. I was going to say something else.
Former chief operating officer at a local nonprofit that prevented fentanyl overdoses. Amy J. Knox, now accused of using grant money for things like cosmetic surgery and vacations to Hawaii. Our Tony Shin just got out of court this afternoon, and he joins us live now with the latest. Tony.
Yeah, Phil and Christina, she pleaded not guilty to several criminal charges, including embezzlement, which, by the way, is a crime she has already committed in the past.
Wait a second. Embezzlement, a crime she has already committed in the past? That's not her. That's the DA down there in San Diego. She would, according to what's being reported, before she got this job, she was convicted of embezzling over $500,000 from her previous employer. And they hired her to pass out Narcan and do all this stuff as her non-profit, non-government agency. Oh.
She's a great con artist.
District Attorney Summer Stephan is talking about Amy J. Knox, seen here at her arraignment on multiple charges of fraud. Knox is the former chief operating officer of a nonprofit called Harm Reduction Coalition.
Harm Reduction Coalition of San Diego. On point. We're welcome. We're doing all this good. We are purer than the wind-driven stone. We wouldn't take a cent. In fact, we take money out of our pocket to help these people. Balderdash, they couldn't be saying F you on 98.7% of these nonprofit, government, non-government organizations that are government organizations. It's all a fraud con to steal your money.
that was contracted by the county using grant funding of nearly $6 million to distribute the overdose reversal drug Narcan in hopes of preventing fentanyl deaths, especially among the homeless.
Call me hard-hearted. This is the lifestyle they have chosen, to be drug addict, vagrants. They should take responsibility for the condition they have put themselves in. Period. End of story. And even if you were inclined to help and say, you know, Roy's just a mean blankety blank blank blank, they're not helping people. They're making the problem humongously worse. And they're living large on top of it.
It is also deeply concerning that the checks and balances that are supposed to safeguard the county's large budget and trust funds failed in this case.
The DA says after her investigators got tipped off by a whistleblower, those investigators claimed they found evidence proving that Knox used the grant funding as a personal bank account, including nearly $100,000 to pay for credit card bills.
Why in the hell? Why was she hired in the first place? $500,000 embezzlement? Allegedly, or whatever, or uncovered, or that's what they're talking about. She embezzled $500,000 before. What'd you think she was going to do when she got over here?
More than $10,000 to cover gas and electric bills, $30,000 for breast enhancement surgery, as well as trips to
There you go, 30 grand. 30 grand. Your taxpayers' money went to allegedly paying for a boob job, tummy tuck, and plastic surgery for Amy Knox because she's handing out Arcan to the vagrants. Oh, doesn't that just warm the cockles of your heart? We're not being a-holes or mean hillbillies or all that. We're trying to tell you the frickin' truth of what's going on and how to fix this stuff. And it ain't by enabling it or shoveling gazillions of dollars of cash down this stuff, down a rat hole to make it worse.
Disneyland and Hawaii.
It was not a difficult decision to come to the district attorney. I knew that I had to do the right thing for the right reason. And
Tara Stamos is the whistleblower and Harm Reduction Coalition's CEO. She says at first she hired Knox believing she was the right person because of her experience until...
Experience? What, in embezzling? Hired her for her experience? You didn't do a background check and say, you know what about this $500,000 in embezzlement? Oh, but we're here to help.
She discovered strange activity with the bank accounts.
it does make me sick to my stomach to think about the things that she spent the money on and to see how, it was so selfish.
Stamos says she had no idea.
That's the chief executive officer, Stamos. She got $6 million freaking dollars.
Selfish.
Stamos says she had no idea that Knox has a prior criminal history, including a conviction for embezzlement in 2014, when she was sentenced to 4 years.
Oh, we had no idea what was going on. In some cases, I can believe that. Looking at this yo-yo, running the whole ship, the Stamos chick. Who determined she had any qualifications to run? Who knows how much he got? Just this $6 million program. Oh, yeah, let's go hire some crooks.
Years in state prison for stealing more than $500,000 from a national city construction company. Stamos says the conviction never came up in background checks.
She also has strong.
How in the hell can $500,000 embezzlement conviction, when you are hiring the chief operating officer for a nonprofit that's getting just one $6 million contract?
Support in the community, I would ask everybody that's here for her to stand up just so the court can see.
Knox is now facing 3 felony counts of misappropriating public funds and 3 felony counts of embezzlement. Stamos says because of Knox, dozens of people have died from fentanyl poisoning because her nonprofit had to shut down after the allegations came to light.
Here go the crocodile tears. Oh, how many had to die with that? You know, they are responsible for the condition they're in. Again, call me hard-hearted. Why are we out there saving these people that made these choices? This isn't somebody that got cancer or something that was, worked all their lives, retired or something, or 40 years old, and you get that, hey, you got prostate or breast cancer or who knows what. These are people that make the choice to burn their brains out on drugs, lie, cheat, and steal, and then make our environment a living hellhole to live through, but we got to save them.
My life has fallen apart around me because of no funding and no income. Just how dare she,
My life is falling apart because of no income. You didn't care. That just proves to me you didn't care one flippin' iota about that. It's all about the money. 1,001,937%. Switching over to CBS 8. They had another report and another interesting picture of Miss Stamos. See if we can find it here. Yes. Here's your Miss Stamos coming up in a second. I'm going to show you a picture. This is a lady that was running the program. The one that says, oh, I turned her in. Oh, look at the nice little tattoos. And the little heart on her little halter top as she's passing out the $6 million in Narcan. We gave this lady a $6 million contract.
Just transactions.
I'm really sorry that she took something that was such an important and trusted thing and did people wrong.
Is there any question how this wound up in a 111% freaking disaster? And this goes on every day. This is small freaking potatoes. I can almost guarantee you when this all shakes out. And you know who's paying the bill? You. You know who's paying the price? Your family, because they're taking food, money from your family and doing this kind of crap. Here's this story in the California Post. CEO steals $132,000 in public cash and blows it on plastic surgeries, Disneyland, the cops and the DA say. When do we say not no, but hell no? When do we? It's going to be absolutely critical that we stop this absolute madness all across the board, because it's happening every day. We're seeing it every day. The stories are breaking every day. It's talk about making your head explode. Prince Andrew was arrested today, and this is exactly why I do not get the phenomena or why people of the whole royal family king stuff, they're just regular freaking people that are just sitting there with wealth and privilege of doing nothing. They didn't arrest Andrew on the sex stuff, which is bad enough that they didn't charge him with that. Maybe those charges will come later. But the interesting thing is he was selling secrets, intelligence, classified information, or giving it or somehow delivering it to Jeffrey Epstein. So this is another big chunk of evidence that the whole Epstein operation was an intelligence operation, whether it's CIA, Mossad, whatever. And again, we're not taking the whole pedophile thing at all lightly. That's as or more important than even selling out as a spy. But this is Tom Massey on the floor, why he, Marjorie Taylor Greene, pushed so hard to get the Epstein files released. Here, hopefully we go.
Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men, in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up.
Tom Massey's exactly right. Trump needs to get on this, and Pam Bondi, or I hope someone else, unless it's Trey Gowdy. One thing, I'll tell you this, as bad as I think Pam Bondi is, I would keep her over Trey Gowdy. I hope that deal's off the table. There's plenty of good people. Ken Paxton, the guy from Missouri that's in there at the deputy FBI director, or there's a lot of good people that could handle the job. Harmeet Dillon, I believe. There's a lot of good people that could get this stuff done. Yes, we want those spies, pedophiles, investigate, indict, incarcerate. Get off Tom Massey's ass, Trump, because he did the right thing. This whole climate scam. I've told you, I've been on this earth parts of 7 decades. I've heard we're going to burn up. Oh, we're all just going to, you're going to die a horrible death. Like they put you in a microwave oven, you're just going to burn to death. Then you're going to freeze. Oh, the waters are going to come higher than Noah's day and God flooding the earth, and you're going to drown. And everything in between. It's flat flipping ridiculous. This is 42 freaking years ago. Another discredited, disgraced person, Dan Rather, pulled this report. CBS News, 60 Minutes, or wherever. I think it was just CBS News. See what Blathering Dan had to say 42 years ago.
About rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
42 years ago, oh, we're all going to burn up the greenhouse gases and we're all going to die. If you don't do as I say.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at...
You're going to kill all the penguins, as you just saw. Oh, those nice little penguins are all going to die because you're the evil one burning fossil fuels and you're using natural gas to heat your home or cook your food. You're busting your ass going to work every day, driving that car, you evil person. How about all the evil parents now that drive their kids back and forth to school? How much extra pollution's that adding into the air? We never talk about that.
Sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years.
Were we going to burn to death? Well, if the sea level rises and we're all underwater, I don't know how we're going to burn to death. We might drown. That's how idiotic these yo-yos were. This is 42 years ago, CBS News and Dan Blather and Kincaid, or whatever the hell his name was.
These scientists are correct. About 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world.
Miami would be gone. There would be no Miami. No South Florida, no Keys, no nothing. The oceans would be so high. Look at that little strip of Florida. How flippin', the panhandle's gone. Moves into Alabama and Georgia.
Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada.
We're all going to starve to death. The farmer in Iowa, he said it's going to be the Oklahoma Dust Bowl days.
Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the Earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the Earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive.
You know that evil Ronald Reagan, he's going to burn us all down. If not, he's going to drown us. All of you people, all you evil people that want to live a comfortable life, that want to work hard. Hopefully your kids will have a better future than you did. Piss on you. That's what they're saying 42 years ago. The same crap.
Answers.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct.
Al Gore, who's private jets, $10,000 or whatever it was to heat his multi-gazillion-dollar mansion.
Correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people. The very survival of cities like this one.
Yeah, they have. They've stolen your wealth is what they've done with that. That's why you're paying $5 a gallon and more, going higher. In California, we're up 50 cents now in 3 weeks, while the rest of the countries went down 15 cents over this climate change, idiotic stupidity, gaslighting, whatever. Well, I'm not using the words I would really like to use. Mark Jaffe from California Policy Center, A lot wrote in the California Post. Why California should store water and not panic about the climate. Soon after the wildfires ripped through Los Angeles last year, California politicians and the media knew of whom to blame: the oil companies who were going to kill us all. Here we are 42 years later, and since recorded history, like Dan Blather, Representative Dave Min, a Democrat from Irvine, said climate change has wreaked havoc on us because it dried out all the foliage. Never mind the California, we're all burned. That's what they're blaming the Pacific Palisades fire on. The Eaton fire, the one up in Northern California that wiped out even more, the Paradise Fire. Scott Wiener declared the fires were proof of this and of that. We're burning up, choking, and heating up. This is what they're trying to shove down our throat. Gavin Newsom was saying this. Oh, we're burning up all this at the Munich conference. We should have built again, like with the bullet train, for the $200 billion we spent on that, and got 2 feet of track. We could have built 8 lanes of highway, 4 up, 4 north, 4 south, from LA to San Francisco for that $20 billion. How many water projects we just authorized, $8 billion worth of bonds 10 years ago? Stupid Californians, and you didn't get one reservoir built, but your water bills are shooting through the roof. Natural gas, it's going to get to the point where you can't heat your home, much less turn on your stove, which you're going to eliminate. Say you got to go to electricity. Oh, that's costing you 10 times more to cook your food. Mark Jaffe, and we'll get into it more maybe next week. But he did a study on the climate change hoax. The climate has not changed from 100 years ago, from 50 years ago, from 25 years ago, from 5 years ago. 100 years ago, we were burning a hell of a lot less fossil fuels and everything else. As we were burning a whole lot less 50 years ago as 25 is now. And it has not made zero. It has had zero effect on the climate. Just as there was with the Blather report and the every 10-year report, we're either burning up or drowning. And everything else. It's really, really, really on the stupidity factor. Off the charts. And we're doing this to ourselves. Yeah, just the latest one. We ran it yesterday. The $1 billion on our 911 system was antiquated. Oh, we need a new one. So we spend $1 billion in the tech capital of the world. Supposed to have the smartest people, Silicon Valley, all that. $1 billion, they go to hook it up. Oh yeah, we're ready to do it. Boom, that doesn't work. They're scrapping it. What's more important? When you're calling 911, you either got somebody's had a heart attack, you're calling the police, your house is on fire, there's a traffic accident, some illegal alien and a truck driver just killed a bunch of people on the freeway, way or whatever. And we're spending $350 billion in the proposed budget, and we can't even fix these important problems. Public safety, the people of the California have declared in the Constitution it's the number one priority. And your 911 system still sucks. You can't get to... A lot of people report they're calling on that. You know, they got a 4-alarm fire going and they can't even get through. And then when they get through, they're put on hold. Meanwhile, your house is burning. Your loved one is dead. Somebody just got the tar beat out of them with a tire iron or something. It's simply amazing at times. What we tolerate. And I hope we're not tolerating it anymore. I hope you get on with the Roy plan. Ashley Zavala just reposted it. It's up to 17%. It's went up 50% almost. From 12 to 17% on Paul Mitchell's deal. This is going to be Steve Hilton versus Chad Bianco for governor. And the ramifications that has in down ballot, it will light the political landscape on fire like it's never been lit before. We have the opportunity to do it. We better jump on board. Again, last day, get those petitions in the mail. Say Prop 13, go to hjta.org. If you haven't, if you got petitions laying there, if you haven't, download the petition tonight. Get it in the mail. This is it. Friday's the drop dead deadline.
30 seconds.
So make sure you get that done. So we need that and voter ID on top of the Roy plan working and get Steve and Chad in the top two. And it's Katie bar the door because it's going to be on. It's going to be game on like you've never seen it before. And boy, will that be as fun as hell.
5 seconds. Here we go.
As anything.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live at 5:30 in the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join our vast video dance in the Evil Uppy Network, YouTube, maybe Rumble and X. I don't know. We're working through some technical stuff on that, but we'll get her solved up so everything's working on the genre of the World Wide Web. Man, we've done some interesting studies and stories and stuff. But you're definitely going to want to see or go back and look on the archives of today's show, because you're not going to believe. Well, I think people are starting to believe more, but this one just might take the cake, as they say. Your public funds, your taxpayer money, is going to pay for Amy Knox's fake boobs, as was alleged, or the charges were filed today down in San Diego County. She was the COO of a nonprofit that got $6 million to hand out Narcan because we got to save the vagrants. And I'll take the brickbats, but I'm telling, this is my opinion. They got themselves into that situation willingly to be dope addicts, drunks, whatever. And if they want to die sitting on the street taking fentanyl or shooting heroin or doing whatever they're doing, then we'll sweep them up and put them in the incinerator and we're done with that. Because I'm tired of getting 132 grand allegedly this woman ripped off. 30 grand for a boob job and tummy tuck and cosmetic surgery, $90,000 in credit card charges and whatever. This is why the cost of everything is shooting sky high through the roof. And your family's paying it. We ran the Dan Rather clip 42 years ago. Oh, greenhouse gases and we're all going to die. Stuff it up your ass, Dan, and all you climate changers, and all you libtards, and all you idiots, tree hugger, eco freaks, Sierra Club, nattering nabobs of negativism trying to kill us. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to save the vagrants and kill us with your stupidity. Mark Jaffe of the California Policy Center just did the study. Climate hasn't changed from 100 years ago to 50 years ago to 25 years ago to yesterday. So quit gaslighting us and just stop. If you want to be stupid, my suggestion is like the old adage, keep it to yourself. Don't say anything and let the whole world know and open your mouth and let the whole world know you're stupid. It's beyond logical thought. Trying to think a nice word. Shifting on a couple local topics, well, we'll start with this one. Is the Moreno Valley Ghetto Mall finally going down? Forced closure is imminent as fire safety violations threaten hundreds of jobs, as we posted on IE Newswire. Panic and outrage over possible shutdown on Friday. Moreno Valley City Councilwoman Elena Baca Santa Cruz posted yesterday that they were going through their final inspections, fire inspections today at the Moreno Valley Mall at 1 o'clock, and if they didn't pass those, as of 8 o'clock tonight, the Moreno Valley Mall would be closed due to repeated fire violations that have been going on for who knows how long. This is why politics matters in your life. Mind you, Moreno Valley got started illegally as a city when they made an island between two cities, Riverside and Moreno Valley, and the Riverside Raceway property where the mall is now, by Day Street and the freeway between Frederick and going south, that's 600 acres that was Riverside International Raceway. And Fritz Duda had gotten control of the property, and when we went through the LAFCO hearings, they made an island among two cities. The Riverside Raceway property was not in the city of Riverside, in the city of Moreno Valley, which was totally illegal because it was a 360-degree blocked in. It had to go legally one to the other. So we started the city of Moreno Valley because of that piece of property illegally. And all the recalls and the distrust and everything else that have went on. Then, when Fritz Duda decided to develop the mall project, he took the $25 million. He convinced the city council to give him the $25 million of redevelopment funds that were slated for the community of Edgemont, the ghetto, The redevelopment funds that were supposed to redevelop these impoverished communities and people. He hijacked that and on and on. Then the mall got built. Then it never made any money. It never paid back the 25 millions in bonds with the sales tax or everything else. It got sold and failed in bankruptcy. When the last company that owned it before this company got control of it, it was in a conglomerate of 200 malls or something about 10 years ago. 7 malls were so bad they couldn't sell them. Moreno Valley Mall was one of them. They finally pawned it off into some other company that came to the city council. And it appears, boy, was baby Jesus, Mayor Ulysses Cabrera, pushing this project. Oh, they're going to repurpose them all and do all this good stuff. And we're going to invest city funds in a museum, and we're going to have a Disneyland display and all this. In my opinion, since the first thing this latest company came in, my opinion, was a total con. They talked the very inexperienced, in my opinion, corrupt as hell, mayor of Moreno Valley into this. I don't know why city staff is not telling the truth when this stuff comes up at the council meetings of what's going on. They were cheerleading this along. Now we'll see after the show. Well, a couple hours after the show goes off at 8 o'clock, we'll see if it's open. Where's going to be your nice little historical museum? And the Disneyland thing that was going to come in, or whatever the hell it was, and people were going to fly in from Australia to see this, to come to Moreno Valley and to see this. Stick it right up where the sun don't shine. You know what? People did used to come from Australia when we had Riverside International Raceway, and Japan, and Enid, Oklahoma, and Bear, Vermont, and everywhere else. You had Formula One, Sterling Moss. You had IndyCar, Foyt and Dan Gurney. The same with the stock cars and Parnelli Jones and Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. Coming to this town on that property. And because a couple women on the city council wanted to buy shoes, we dozed the frickin' thing down, killed Edgemont, and put in a moon rock of a mall that has been known as the Ghetto Mall ever since. This is why you don't buy into the BS. This is why you should do what is right. We should have done what is right in the beginning, included the Riverside Raceway property in one or the other, in Riverside and Moreno Valley. Once that wasn't accomplished and they wanted to annex into the city and they were hijacking us, Fritz Duda and company, in my opinion, for the and they got the $25 million in redevelopment funds that were earmarked for Edgemont to build the mall, which just went down in flames. What about the promise there wouldn't be any houses built on the original Riverside Raceway property? Over half of it is houses or close. This is why you do not believe. Take 98.7% of them scumbag, lying sacks of ish that are known as politicians, governors, insurance commissioners, water board members, school board members, city council members, county board of supervisors, and the list goes on. Just like the lady that was down there in San Diego, the COO or CEO, she wasn't concerned. It wasn't, when they got popped, or the lady got popped for misappropriating the funds and they got shut off. It wasn't, the poor people. I lost my income. This is exactly the frickin' reason Franklin Delano Roosevelt father of the New Deal, champion of the Socialist Democrats, said, do not let public employees unionize, because you don't give a monopoly that kind of power. And we have, and this is the result. Because they will lie to you about climate change and everything else. They will tell you, yeah, we're going to build a bullet train, and you're going to get on it. You're going to get in San Francisco in 2 hours. You know, that 8-hour trip you have to do in your car, and you're polluting, you're going to kill everybody. Like I said, we could have built 8 lanes of highway from LA to San Francisco. For the 2 feet of track and the $20 billion they spent on doing that on the bullet train that was supposed to have been done, completed, and running straight from LA to San Francisco 6 years ago. Now they're going from Wasco to Merced. Here's another one. Riverside, former Riverside City Councilman, now on the Western Municipal Water Board, Mike Gardner, writes this opinion piece in the Rain Crossing Gazette. Riverside needs to fund the fire department growth and soon. Extending Measure Z is the right choice for Riverside's fire department. There's Mr. Mike Gardner, and I invite Mr. Gardner to come in to the show and explain his reasoning of why they should steal your money to do this. Many readers have heard about the recent study which shows major shortfalls in the Riverside Fire Department staffing, station equipment, and how levels are into the future. You know what, Mike? Even when you were on the council, let's add up the increases in cost in the fire department from all of the policies you and your brethren in the corrupt political cabal that you're in have screwed us over, and now you want more? Go stick it, Mike. Don't lie to the people, Mike. Say you're a greedy piece of trash and we want to take everything you got. And we're going to work with the public employees and the corrupt politicos to shove it down your throat. We're going to point a gun at you. Say, we're going to take that tax money. We're going to lie to you and convince you to do it. You will not tell in this editorial, show me, Mike, where you show how much more we've spent. We're spending 3 times much for half the fire protection. And you want to up the 1 cent sales tax up to 1 1/4 and extend it to infinity. How frickin' insane is that? Riverside needs to add 84 additional firefighters and all this other stuff. Yeah, they do. And they need to take it out of the regular budget that they've got. They're collecting, adjusted for inflation, 2 to 3 times more than when fire protection was fine in Riverside, California, and practically every city in between. Mike Fertel, the city manager, if you want to identify this crap here, because you and your brethren have screwed us royally, and you frickin' know it. Just like your wife out there, Fertel, pulling this climate change crap that Dan Rather did 42 frickin' years ago like we just ran. The projected revenue from a transit occupancy tax increase falls short of what is needed. Yeah, the hotel tax is Now, Measure Z sales tax, after it expires in 2036, this might provide an ongoing funding after 36, but does nothing to help fund incurring needs. The other options are a quarter-cent sales increase and an extension of Measure Z beyond 2036 at a rate of 1.25%, which is a current 25% increase over the 1% rate. And what happens then when we get to 36 and we're 10 times worse shape? What, are you going to tax it to 100%, Mike? Did you ever study economics? I'm sure you did, because if you did, you know you're flat lying through your teeth to the people in this editorial. Come on in, Mike. Have some frickin' balls to debate the 6th grade educated ditch bank Okie from Edgemont. You're so badass, you've sat up on that ivory tower, and now you're really trying to shove it down our throat, Mike, with you and your corrupt, fraudulent brethren in the politico cabal that has been screwing us forever. And you flat know it. Come in here and deny it, Mike, or any one of you else, Fertrell or anybody else. Brian Mohan, Baby Jesus, Corey Jackson, bring it on. Don't run and hide in the corner. Don't hide behind the pen. Sit here beside me and defend what you said and what you're advocating for. It's flippin' ridiculous. We're paying for boob jobs. And that isn't enough. You want more. This is your constituents, Mike, and I'm sure you've seen them because they were on your post. That you reposted this on your Facebook page. Probably some pretty high rollers in the community. Explaining how they had to, in the Hawarden, where a $2 million home is a hovel, which means like it looks like it was in the middle of downtown Edgemont. How the fire department couldn't respond to the fire that went through there, a year or two ago. Now people had to save their own homes because the fire department couldn't respond. Despite spending record amounts of money on the fire department, the police department, and every other department. I didn't see you responding to your neighbors and constituents. Like one of them, who I know is a very prominent citizen, because we used to be neighbors. People are not keen on more taxes, even though we need more fire department employees in buildings. I know there was no fire protection for my home during the Hawarden fire, 2 police units parked, but no fire help. Residents had to do with a lot for their own defense. Sometimes I think it isn't a revenue problem. Of course it isn't. They've got record amounts of number. We're twice as much, 3 times as much as we were running the state on 10, 12 years ago. And now we can't do this and we can't have that, and we let the Palisades burn and the Paradise Fire up north and the Eaton Fire and on and on. Another resident wrote on Mike Gardner's page, that's a staunch no. How about fixing the departments? How about not ripping us off, Mike? How about exposing what you know from being on the inside of the skullduggery that's been pulled off in Riverside, not only in your watch, but has been going on for 100 plus years down there? It's absolutely. Another resident writes, I'm glad the people are realizing the lies we've been told. We were told every time they come up with the tax increase, oh, you know, if we don't pass this POG, we're going to cut the car fire and cops. Your house going to burn down if you call 911. No, it's not going to burn down because the 911 system sucks that we spent $1 billion trying to fix, Mike. And everyone else, you politicians, that have screwed us all across the board. How come you didn't put that in your editorial, Mike? How come you're not responding to the constituents from all walks of life writing in your page, Mike? How come you won't come in here and defend? And bring Fertel with you, please. Or whoever you want. We've had about enough of this ish. I'm hoping and I'm seeing the results. I think a lot of people in the state of California are seeing it. We've talked about the Roy plan. Top 2 and win it in June. Get Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco 1-2 as your choices for governor. If you want this stuff stopped. The great Ashley Zavala from KCR Theory put this up on the X machine. Yeah, we ran the deal. Paul Mitchell was on. He was on with Ashley Zavala on our 360 Politics show. And he's got this metric. You can go Paul Mitchell on X or whatever. He's got a link to it. Of his new model. You can check it out. Well, Sunday, it was 12% or 1 in 8 chance Steve and Chad could be elected governor of the state of California. Ashley Zavala is reporting this today, Thursday, 5 days later. Those odds have went up 50%. Now it's a 1 in 6 chance or 17.5%. That 2 Republicans will emerge out of the June primary and to the election and to the governor's race in 2026. Even if it doesn't happen, I'd like to hear from all of you when I was putting this on most of all of last year that said I was crazy, don't know what I'm talking about, never happened. Oh, this is California, blah, blah, da, da, dee, dee, ding, ding, ding. Well, you know, it's really starting to get real now. And it better. Unless you want the Mike Gardners and Mike Fertels and the Gavin Newsoms and the Corey Jacksons and the Ulysses Cabrera to be dictating every aspect of your life. Telling you when and if you can get on the 3x5 screen. When and if you can turn on your heat. When and if you can eat or cook something on your stove. When and where you can go, drive, and how and what and why in your little 200 square foot hovel And that's if you don't complain, else you will be declared obsolete. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory back here on 23 Hours Why. Hear the best darn show in the whole wide world. Till then, see ya.
Have a great night.
You got it.